I'm sick and tired of anime stands dunking on American animation and calling it trash, so now I'm going to turn the tables and tell you, wads, why the format you love so much is a burning trash heap. The majority of shots in anime are characters standing still with three basic mouth shapes toggling back and forth. Oftentimes the mouths don't even line up, like in Great Pretender, Ranma 1/2, Ultramarine Magmel. There's a lot of shots where the characters' mouths toggle back and forth for 3 frames or 2 frames each. The point of animation is to fool the brain to thinking a static image is moving, and as for video games, people stop seeing a difference between 140 and 160 frames per second, which is different from anime, which is 99% of the time done on 2s, which means it's 12 frames per second. There are some ways to offset the jitter caused by this animation when you stagger 2 characters walking cycles side by side each other. Say 1 frame character A moves, frame 2 character B moves, then frame 3 character A is now in a different position. While anime is typically made in 24 frames, I'll show you this fight scene from Blue Exorcist in 12 and 24 frames side by side to show you how little difference there is. Now let's take a look at this fight scene from Amphibia in 24 and 12 frames side by side. The characters are constantly moving in cartoons and require more time and budget to draw again and again, sometimes up to 5 different keyframes per monologue, whereas in anime they typically have 2, and a lot of the time the second is just a part of a transition to the next shot. They also have a wide variety of mouth shapes for cartoons that are far more tedious to synchronize and line up. You could respond to this evidence as sure, there's less animation, but the characters are far more detailed with more shading. So to that I say, yeah, does it require more time to make 5 drawings for a single monologue, which each takes maybe an hour, or 20 drawings that each take 20 minutes? That takes longer and it requires more effort, and that's only the characters themselves. Cartoon backgrounds are just as detailed as anime background art. It's time to move on to why their storylines are so much worse than cartoons. Most anime are just video adaptations of existing mangas, a few rare exceptions being Kill la Kill, Cowboy Bebop, and Code Geass. Many manga creators do not have a staff full of writers, and oftentimes it shows through in the end product. Having 5 writers hired by the company producing a cartoon allows them to collaborate and develop a more engaging show. Few cartoons are cancelled after their first season, however much anime does not receive enough recognition for companies to justify investing the millions needed to make more. Which is why so many anime fans also read mangas of the shows they like, because the creator is able to continue adding to their IP as they please since manga is less financially consuming to produce. The anime market is oversaturated with several shows that are virtual imitations of each other. Trying to fit into the status quo of the market has really hurt the anime industry since very few shows coming out are trying to do anything new or shake things up, where virtually every new cartoon I see is an attempt to stand out and make itself distinct. Especially in art style, breaking tropes, parodying the industry itself, and overall pandering less and less to what the audience wants. Cartoons have been making some risky plays that are moving the animation industry as a whole to a new territory where most anime plays in the safe space and don't rock the boat. You would think that with a single person in charge of their own storyline, their own characters, they might try to mix things up, but that's rarely the case. This doesn't always create something good for cartoons. It has created endless controversies and gotten an insane amount of news coverage, whereas a lot of anime is in the same watered down, empty calories, the same plot that 100 other shows already have done better, and drag that out across an entire season. Giving the main protagonist zero character development is super common in anime, as well as having vanilla antagonists. If you want to watch the same story and the same fight scenes told through a dozen copy-paste characters, be my guest, but at the end of the day, saying anime or cartoons is better than one or the other is like saying tacos are better than burritos, because while they share a lot of similarities, they are still different art forms. It is true that most American animated series target young adults in the 20 to 30 year range, or children below the age of 12, where much anime is targeted at young adults and teens. They have different audiences. Maybe you're older and you still don't vibe with shows like Family Guy and BoJack Horseman. That's fine, everybody's different, but the show's intended demographics don't lie, and there's exceptions to every rule, like Pokemon is intended for kids and Young Justice is for teenagers. Cartoons have a bigger emphasis on motion, having the characters move around on the screen a lot more, capturing the motion of life. Whereas anime is much more art driven with beautiful drawings of people and visual effects that can leave you in awe. And because they tried to do two different things, they cannot be compared to each other. You can like anime, you can like American animation, you can like both, you can like neither because you prefer live action. All of these are fine, but much like you wouldn't compare live action to 3D animation, you cannot compare American animation to Japanese animation. To reiterate the reason I made this video, fuck everybody who thinks anime is better than cartoons. I love both for their respective reasons, and maybe if you keep an open mind about the points I brought up in this video, maybe you too can enjoy the same shows I enjoy, just the same as I enjoy the shows that you enjoy.